Before we get started, I'd like to thank the patrons of this channel for their tremendous support over the years. It is greatly appreciated. The stars are right, and that means it's time for another episode of The Whisper in Darkness. I'm your host, the Manfromleng. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I'm discussing the Drowned City Investigator Expansion, which will be released in February 2025. FFG unveiled the expansion at Gen Con and posted a preview article on its website this week. The expansion contains 6 new investigators: Trawler Marion Tavares, who is the Guardian; parapsychologist Agatha Crane, who comes in Seeker and Mystic flavors; gangster Michael McGlenn, who is the Rogue; writer Gloria Goldberg, who is the Mystic; lawyer George Barnaby, who is probably a survivor; and poet Lucius Galloway. Based on the list of investigators in the product description, Galloway is likely the Seeker. In addition to 6 investigators and the typical assortment of player cards, the expansion includes specialist cards, neutral cards keyed to specific traits that you may include in your deck only if your investigator has one of those traits. I'll discuss the specialist cards in a separate video. For now, let's focus on Marion Tavares, the Trawler. Marion is a Guardian with 2 willpower, 3 intellect, 4 combat, and 3 agility. She has the Drifter and Entrepreneur traits, 8 health, and 6 sanity. Marion's right arm was bitten off by a strange aquatic monster, so she has 1 fewer hand slots. Off the top of my head, I can't think of another game that includes a disabled character, so kudos to FFG for including one here. We don't know Marion's deck building options yet, but the preview article hints that she'll have access to at least a few Survivor cards, like the new Improvised Weapon 2. Survivor makes sense given Marion's disability, but I doubt she'll be granted full access to Survivors level 0 to 2. She'll likely be restricted to cards with certain traits, such as Improvised, most of which are Survivor cards anyway, at least for now. Marion makes up for her missing hand slot with the ability to play extra event cards. As a reaction, after you play an event during your turn, draw 1 card, then you may play a different event, limit once per round. Marion's Elder Sign effect is +1, search the top 3 cards of your deck for an event and draw it, shuffle your deck. Marion's ability combines 2 of the most powerful mechanics in the game, draw and action compression. Draw wins games, but it's a rare mechanic in Guardian. Mark Harrigan is the only other Guardian with innate draw, and few Guardian cards, especially at level 0, let you draw extra cards. More often than not, there are strings attached. Glory, for example, requires that you first defeat an enemy before you get your cards. Marion's innate ability to draw extra cards is very appealing, and she can supplement it with a new Guardian card, Ready for Anything, which enables her to draw a card 2 if she drew an enemy this round, and heal a horror without provoking attacks of opportunity as long as she plays it as her first action. Action compression is another cornerstone of the Arkham Horror LCG, and Marion may play an extra event every round. Marion's ability is a reaction, so if she plays a fast event like the aforementioned Glory, she can trigger it to draw an extra card and play a second event, all without taking a single action. Remember, Marion's reaction lets her play a different event, so you can't play Glory back-to-back to draw 5 cards. At the time of recording, there are more than 90 events in the Guardian card pool alone, so Marion has plenty of options to mix it up. Besides staples like Dynamite Blast and Let Me Handle This, Marion gravitates towards events that prompt skill tests, such as Monster Slayer 0. Events that prompt skill tests are great because they synergize with her signature skill, Determined, which bounces back to your hand if you pass the skill test on an event. Marion also likes events with the Improvised trait since they help her work around her signature weakness, I'll Do It Myself. It tags her with a horror every time she plays an event until she discards 3 events as a free triggered ability. Discarding 3 events is a pain, unless of course you want those events in your discard pile anyway. At that point, is I'll Do It Myself really a weakness when it's actually advancing your board state? That said, playing multiple events each round is bound to get expensive, so don't forget to include plenty of resource generation, many of which are events themselves. Emergency Cash 0 from the core set is basically the equivalent of Emergency Cash 2 in a Marion deck, while Clean Them Out lets you draw 1 card, gain 2 resources, take a fight action, to which you may commit Determined, and play a second event if necessary to finish the job. That is a lot of value for a single action. That's going to do it for this episode. Marion looks like she is going to be a ton of fun to play. She mitigates one of Guardian's key weaknesses, the lack of draw, and generates action advantage. If she has access to cards with the Improvised trait, which the preview article suggests, even her signature weakness has an upside. What a great package to start with. I'll be back with a look at Agatha Crane, the parapsychologist, the specialist cards, and the campaign's expansion in future episodes. Remember to do the YouTube stuff if you have any questions, leave a comment, and thank you for watching.